Recently, the word PingYao has suddenly become a frequently heard vocab in my life. This is all because a couple of my friends visited that place, most notably a friend from the US, who had never been to China, had just randomly Googled about what's the best place to go to China if this is your first time there. And guess what? The answer is PingYao. So, what is PingYao? PingYao is an ancient city in Shanxi province in China. At least that much I know from all the talking. But that's about it, and that's all I know, right to the point when my parents surprised me by announcing that we're going there on October 1st during the National Chinese holidays. Of course I'm excited. My next door neighbor Alice told me it's a must-see. Our plan is different from anybody else's. Most people will leave on October 1st. We're not. Our plan is to finish our ride before most people hasn't even started. Yet, we're going to leave 3 days before the 1st and come back on the 2nd. Why? To avoid the traffic or to get in with the reverse traffic with everybody else. I was so excited that I didn't even have a good sleep. We got up at 5 a.m., quickly had breakfast and headed out.
现在几点钟啦？
As soon as we're on the road, my very first thing to do was, you guessed it right, to catch some sleep.
宝贝儿，开始睡觉啦。
请小心右侧有车辆汇入。
Eventually, we stopped at the rest area. We used bathrooms, stretched, ate something, brought snacks,
石板床5元，鸡蛋3元2个。
refueled, and back on the highway. I was pretty happy and sang some songs.
前方500米接近路权服务区。
Boys, itty bitty boys, Mississippi boys, inner city boys. I like the pretty boys with the bow tie. I don't discriminate.
请注意检查。
From the pretty boys to the gay boys, gonna slay boys, you my fake boys.
2 o'clock in the afternoon, we arrived at our first destination, 乔家大院, or the Qiao family courtyard. The Qiao family courtyard is a traditional Qing dynasty mansion. It was first built in 1756 and was renovated several times by the Qiao family. It occupies a total area of 2.6 acres, with a built area of 1 acre. This is one Qing dynasty in Qing country. 哦，我懂了。The Qiao family was rich for 5 generations. This is a marvelous feat.
哇，乔建。
It comprises of 6 major courtyards, 20 smaller courtyards, and 313 rooms. One unique characteristic of the courtyard is that every house is connected by corridors. This made it easier for guards to protect the properties. A few things worth mentioning. The courtyard is isolated from the nearby residences.
8去2进1。
对，9。
9去1进1。
In 1991, a famous Chinese movie named 大红灯笼高高挂 was shot in the Qing family courtyard. If viewed from space above, the Qiao family mansion looks very much like the Chinese character 喜, which means happiness in Chinese. Inside the mansion, there are the south and the north yard, and each yard consists of a principal room for the host and side rooms for guests for servants. Differences can be seen in the roof styles of the 2 types of rooms. The principal rooms use tiled roofs, the side rooms use brick roofs. This keeps the mansion from looking bored and also shows the hierarchy within the family. What I enjoyed the most were those wooden carvings, brick carvings, stone carvings, and all kinds of color paintings. I'm also fascinated to see how a wealthy family could stick together through many generations and build a thriving business. took a lot of selfies and really had a good time. After touring the Tao courtyard, we came out, walked on the street, and found a small stinky tofu shop.
臭豆腐，毛主席最爱吃的小吃之一，不到长粉非好汉，而到了长沙。
We each ordered one bowl at first, but later went back to have another. It was so good. Best ever.
长沙臭豆腐。
Around 8 p.m., we arrived at PingYao. We had to park outside the famous ancient city and call our hotel managers for pickup. The night streets inside PingYao City is colorful. But when I walked inside our hotel room, I was pleasantly shocked. It's just amazing. 天哪，你们过来看一下，过来看一下，这好酷啊！好酷啊！好酷啊！哦，这是床吗？我觉得这个地方是卧室。我想拍今天。It should not be called a hotel. It's a big, ancient, rich family house. Of course we have a yard of your own, and it's beautiful too. I then explored every corner of the hotel. And to prove that it's old, I found a mall picture in one of the corridors. Breakfast. I promised my dad that I will practice my English pronunciation during the trip, so here I am trying to make him happy.
开始。
Okay, just get up on that podium. Alright, I'm here. That was easy. How many people are there in the audience? 100? 1,000? Don't count. Okay, I can do this. I'm gonna focus on my notes. Wait, what have I written down again? Hello, my... Okay, if this sounds like your worst nightmare, you're not alone. Actually, you're one of the estimated 70% of the population that has an intense fear of public speaking. And that's okay, because on today's wellcast, we got a triple P method that will get you through and get you calm during the next oral report. And keep your breakfast where it belongs.
Excellent.
Next, we went to the front desk area where we had our semi-formal late dinner. Oh, by the way, the place we live is called 乔家庄园, sounded very much like 乔家大院, with only one character different. It's also a courtyard, but in a smaller scale. Morning. 1,000 birds sing, and my mom loves to take photos. Everywhere she goes, she does two things: take photos and write about it. This is the 乔家庄园 restaurant, and for us, the breakfast is free because we stay here as VIP. It's a buffet type of breakfast. Unlike the continental breakfast in most of the higher class US hotels, here they serve mostly Chinese food. The dining room is on the second floor, and we picked a seat that is right by the window, overlooking the courtyard. It's beautiful. After the breakfast, we randomly walked on the city streets. Here is the entrance to the city's south gate. Today is the special Chinese national holiday. It's the 70th birthday of the People's Republic of China, and that's why you can see red flags everywhere. Small alleys, which is typical in old Chinese cities. Red lanterns everywhere. They are pretty. Stone carvings like this one tell stories about the past. Shop fronts decorated differently from one another. Occasionally, you still see old ruins like this one. As the day gets brighter, tourists start to arrive. Small street vendors where you can get good bargains. This is a shop that specializes on dates. PingYao is famous for its variety of dates, big ones and small ones. Now our tour guide showed up. She's going to take us to places. The first place we visited is the government palace. It has 3 entrances located on the left, middle, and right respectively. In ancient times, only people with certain status can go through the middle gate. The tour will start with the hell section on the left, and then go through the courtroom in the middle, and finally proceed to a happy garden on the right. The tour is arranged in this order because, as the old saying goes, the bitter must come before sweet. This character in Chinese means prison, but it's made out of 3 characters. Each has its own distinct meanings. On the left is a jackal and right is a wolf dog. Both are furious biting animals. In the middle is a person who can talk. So in this setup, the 2 furious animals guard against the prisoner. These 2 scary-looking iron balls were used to hold down prisoners' feet so they can't run.
That's VIP, okay?
有炕，
That's pretty good.
有火，
This is a VIP prisoner cell where you get to enjoy a bed, a fireplace for warmth, and a window. This is a death aiming cell where you get nothing. Once inside, you will never come out. You don't see sunlight, you do everything inside, you eat, shit all in one place until you die. In the middle section of the palace, we started to see some not so gruesome things. Here, we saw some ancient paperworks, marriage certificates, divorce papers, landing notes, for example. Even the prisoners get to see the sunlight more. For example, on the left side, the cage is for the less serious offenders, while the right-hand cage is for more serious crime punishment. The criminal put in this cage will have to stick their head out of the upper side of the cage, and the height of the cage is so adjusted that you will always be near death half hanging. But if you have money, you can pay to bribe the guard to get you out and stay in the left side cage. This is a performance showing just how in the ancient times a trial was conducted in PingYao City. It is very interesting and very educational. I love it. Now we climb up. This is where the emperor stood every day to inspect the guards patrolling the streets. The city is filled with tourist guides. Sometimes they all talk at the same time, making it very hard to understand what each is talking about. A vendor here is selling steamed beer. Very hot. One of the biggest things in PingYao is vinegar. We visited one of the biggest local vinegar houses. The owner introduced us to a wide range of vinegar products and how they're made. Back in California, where we have wine tasting, here they have vinegar tasting. And one special thing about the vinegar here is that, interestingly enough, unlike the ones sold in the regular supermarket, they never go bad because they don't use any chemical additives. And the vinegar tasting ceremony is quite similar to that of the wine tasting in California. This is PingYao. It's like a forbidden city but with real civilians living in it. One of the must-to-dos on the list during the trip is to watch the show called Once Again Seeing PingYao, 又见PingYao. This is the most fantastic, one of its kind, large-scale, indoor surround sound, situational experience drama I have ever seen.
给你们行礼了。
The show is unique in that it has no fixed stage and the audience is part of the show.
逢凶化吉。
As you watch the show, you feel like you were walking among the actors and actresses, and indeed, we, the audience, actually had to walk to places. We had to go from outdoor to indoor and then outdoor again. The performance is totally in 3D, three-dimensional.
有怕死的美，有美种的美，有高衬的美，有怂蛋的美，有不正义的美。赵一硕将自己的全部家产抵当，换银30万。
Once again, seeing PingYao tells the story about Zhao Yishou, the owner of PingYao City, who returned home as the only survivor from among the 200-some bodyguards. All died after 7 long years. But the Wang family continued. The PingYao City continued. Throughout the show, the performers were constantly interacting with the audience.
我的武功数一数二，我是这条好亲传的命，
都能把你带回家，带回
It showcased the Shanxi people, and also the traditional virtue of the Chinese people.
100年前的一天。
It's a perfect example of how hundreds of years of history can be shortened to just 1 hour in time and be vividly displayed in front of the audience.
今日神机是为了传宗接代。
Despite the big storyline, I love the part in the show that detailing the process of how man chooses his wife.
上3寸3高，3寸3宽，甲长5寸，掌纹清晰，鼻如悬胆，色若琼。 腰肚纤细，环柏杨柳，扭臀。范家、张家好家女退，臀宽多肉者重选。更衣。
I love the large screen walk the wall talks by the martyrs. I love the colors of the walls go from green to red. And finally, I love the hilarious way of making a big deal of making noodles. The PingYao trip took 4 days and 3 nights, and it's going to be one of my never forgettable experiences of my life.